I had been preparing for this job interview for weeks, researching the company, practicing answers, and coordinating every detail to make sure I was ready for the opportunity of a lifetime. But the morning of, my father, James, stormed into my room with a fury I had rarely seen before. "Cancel it," he barked, his face red with anger. "Your sister comes first. You need to stay home for her." I froze, stunned that he could demand I throw away months of preparation for something as trivial, in his mind, as supporting my sister. I tried to reason with him, my voice steady despite the adrenaline pumping through my body. "Dad, this is my career. I've worked hard for this interview. I can't just cancel it. My sister's event is important, but this opportunity might not come again." His eyes narrowed, the veins in his neck taut, and then, in a moment of uncontrolled rage, he grabbed me and threw me against the wall. Pain shot through my back, but I refused to retaliate. I had learned that arguing when he was like this would only escalate things further. Instead, I took a deep breath, steadying myself, and looked him square in the eye. "I'm not canceling," I said firmly. "I'm sorry, but this is my life, my future, and I won't let anyone, not even you, control it." The room went silent, the anger in his eyes giving way to a mix of shock, disbelief, and grudging acknowledgement that I wasn't backing down. My mother, who had been watching from the doorway, intervened gently, trying to calm him, but I knew the decision rested with me. I packed my bag quickly, every movement deliberate, knowing that leaving the house was the only way to preserve both my dignity and my opportunity. I felt a mixture of fear, frustration, and determination as I walked out the door, ignoring his shouts and the pleas from my sister, who was caught between loyalty to me and fear of our father. Every step toward the car was a small act of rebellion, a reclaiming of my autonomy. I had been treated as someone whose life was secondary, whose plans were insignificant, but in that moment, I realized that my own voice, my own choices, were the only things I could control. When I arrived at the interview, the adrenaline from the morning's confrontation hadn't yet faded, but I channeled it into focus. I answered questions with clarity, confidence, and intelligence, and for the first time in weeks, I felt fully alive, fully in charge of my path. I didn't think about my father's anger or my sister's disappointment. I thought only of the opportunity in front of me, the culmination of years of effort and personal sacrifice. And as I walked out of the building, shaking hands with the hiring manager and hearing words of praise, I knew that resisting my father's unreasonable demands had been the right choice. I had stood up for myself, defended my future, and proven that I was capable of making decisions independently, no matter the cost at home. Later that evening, when I returned home, the atmosphere was tense but quieter than I expected. My father avoided my eyes, his anger dissipated into something heavier, regret, perhaps, or acknowledgement that his actions had crossed a line. My sister, embarrassed and frustrated, admitted that she had never intended for things to escalate the way they did. And I realized something crucial. Sometimes standing up to family, even when it hurts, is necessary to protect your future and your self-respect. The wall I had been thrown against was more than a physical obstacle. It was a symbolic moment, a reminder that the only way to claim control of my life was to assert it, even when facing those I love most. That day, I learned that courage isn't about fighting back with fists or anger. It's about holding your ground, staying true to your goals, and refusing to let fear dictate your actions, no matter how close to home the threat comes.